Following the success of the BRICS, everyone is interested to know which are the next big emerging markets to watch, and we believe that Sub-Saharan Africa holds huge potential going forwards. And there are several reasons for this. It's got the second fastest economic growth in the world after Asia Pacific, and we forecast that it will continue to do so in 2013 to 2020. 5 of the top 10 fastest growing economies in 2013 are actually Sub-Saharan African, and it's got the youngest population in the world and the fastest growing population in the world, which means that it holds a lot of consumer potential going forwards. So all of these factors are feeding through into the emergence of a new middle class, and consumer expenditure will account for 60% of Sub-Saharan African GDP in 2013. So when looking at the African market, we know that South Africa is the largest economy in the region and the most diversified, and this is followed by Nigeria, which is the second largest economy in the region. Together, these two countries account for nearly 50% of Sub-Saharan African GDP in purchasing power parity terms in 2013. But outside of these two big economies, we've chosen 5 key frontier markets which we believe will hold the biggest growth potential going forwards. So the first market is Kenya, which we believe will have huge potential going forwards. The government is trying to promote private sector development by easing the regulatory framework. And it's also aiming to become a middle-income country by 2030 under its Vision 2030 plan. And the recent discovery of oil there could mean that it will become an oil producer in the future as well. The next frontier market is Ethiopia, and it's actually got the second largest population in Sub-Saharan Africa after Nigeria, with 87 million people. There's also a lot of potential for hydro and wind power, and the government is very keen on World Trade Organization accession, which will promote investor interest in the country as well. Ghana is a country which benefits from sound governance and an abundance of commodities such as gold, cocoa, and more recently oil. And the country also benefits from the fact that it's the 5th easiest country to do business in Sub-Saharan Africa in 2013, according to the World Bank. The fourth frontier market is Tanzania, which has had robust real GDP growth of around 7% on average in 2007 to 2012. And this is being driven by the export and communications sector. We also believe that it's a country with a huge potential for tourism, and the recent discovery of natural gas could mean that it will become a natural gas producer by 2020. And the 5th country is Cameroon, which benefits from a relatively diversified economy. So nearly 50% of the economy is made up of services. And it's also got quite ambitious plans to become a middle-income country by 2035. So investors really need to look at these frontier markets and think about early market entry and strategize to get in early and establish their brands to really maximize the opportunity that these frontier economies offer in terms of their rapid economic growth from a low base.